All right, let's really dig into something fascinating today. Controversial NBA trades.
Oh, yeah. These aren't just, moving players around.
No, not at all. They're these incredible windows into ambition, sometimes the tougher side of the business too, high-stakes gambles that can really define a franchise.
Absolutely. A single deal can just change everything, the whole trajectory.
So today, you're getting a curated deep dive into some of the most talked about deals the league's ever seen.
It's pretty remarkable how one trade becomes this, fulcrum point. It shifts team fortune, sure, but also the whole NBA narrative, how we even think about building a winner.
Exactly. And we've pulled together, I think, a really compelling set of examples for you. They span from, right now, back to some legendary ones.
Sounds good. Which ones are we tackling?
Okay, so we're going to dissect 4 specific trades that really sent ripples across the league. First up, the blockbuster that just happened, February 2025.
The Luka trade.
Luka Dončić to the Lakers.
Yep.
Then we'll revisit that really contentious veto of the Chris Paul trade, remember that, to the Lakers in 2011.
Oh, I remember. Chaos.
Right. After that, we'll examine what many call the disastrous Nets-Celtics trade from 2013.
The cautionary tale.
That's the one. And finally, we'll look back at the Pau Gasol trade that brought him to the Lakers in 2008. Another Laker deal.
Wow, okay. Each one ignited huge debate, but for really different reasons, didn't they?
Totally. And looking at them together, I think we can start to understand some of the, fundamental forces at play when teams make these massive decisions.
High stakes is putting it mildly sometimes.
Seriously. And we're jumping straight into one so recent, you can practically still feel the aftershocks. Luka Dončić. From the Mavs to the Lakers, February 2025.
Yeah, that one caused an immediate stir, to say the least.
We're going to walk you through the lead-up, the reactions, and really try to grasp the potential long-term impact. It was seismic.
It really was. And the first question everyone asked was, how? How does Dallas trade Luka?
Especially after he just took them to the finals, it seems crazy on the surface.
Right, so let's break down the pieces. Lakers get Luka, Maxi Kleber, Markieff Morris.
Okay.
Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-rounder.
A distant first-rounder.
Very distant.
Yeah.
And the Jazz hop in, too. They get Jalen Hood-Schifino, a couple of second-round picks.
So Lakers get the young superstar, Mavs get the older, established big man, plus that future pick. But, like you said, why? What was going on?
Yeah, the underlying reasons are always key.
Absolutely. To get the why here, you got to look back at the 2023-24 season in Dallas. Offense, amazing. Luka and Kyrie, dynamic.
Unstoppable sometimes.
But defensively, they really struggled. 23rd in the league.
Yeah, and those off-season moves, Lively, P.J. Washington, they helped, but didn't quite fix it.
Didn't solve the core issue, and it seems the on-court stuff was only part of it.
Right. Reports started bubbling up. Friction between Luka and the organization.
That's right. Tim McMahon at ESPN reported Luka felt they couldn't build a real contender around him.
Which is tough to hear if you're the front office.
And there were whispers, too, about a strained relationship with Coach Jason Kidd. Something about a film session, questioning Luka's defense.
Yeah, after a loss, I think.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff, especially with your star. It can fester.
Creates a really unstable environment for sure. But here's where it apparently went off the rails. The final straw, some called it.
What was that?
Luka misses 3 games, January 2025. Calf strain while he's out. Boom! Leaks.
Leaks about what?
An anonymous sources, supposedly from inside the Mavs, leaking concerns about his conditioning to Shams Charania at The Athletic.
Wow. Okay, that's bad.
Really bad. That surfacing publicly, it just destroys trust, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It almost sounds like someone wanted a narrative out there. Maybe to justify.
Justify trading their golden goose. I mean, Luka, he was Dallas basketball. Rookie of the year, 5 straight All-NBA first teams by age 25.
Led them to the WCF, then the finals. 3 scoring titles. All-Star Game MVP just the year before.
He was the Mavericks.
So trading that guy, still young, great contract. It's going to be controversial no matter what. Instantly raises questions about the return.
And that's where so much criticism focused. Trading him for Anthony Davis.
Look, AD is a great player, champion.
But he's 31, has that significant injury history. What was it, averaging 24 missed games the last 5 years?
Something like that, yeah. Knees, ankles, shoulders, plus a more expensive, shorter contract. Player option coming up.
And again, that 2029 pick feels like light years away.
So the feeling for many was the Lakers just pulled off a heist, pairing Luka with LeBron, even an older LeBron.
The The reactions from other players told the story, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. KD saying insane. If he can get traded, anybody's up for grabs.
That really captured the feeling like anything is possible now.
And Giannis saying this business is cold. It's Dirk just tweeting the broken heart emoji.
Oh, Dirk. That says it all for Dallas fans.
Yeah, it speaks to that bond, when a player becomes the city, the franchise.
It's always insightful seeing players react. They get it on a different level. The immediate fallout. Pretty much what you'd expect. LeBron. Thrilled, reportedly.
I bet.
Devin Booker. That classic philosophical, can't predict the NBA.
Resigned, almost.
And Patrick Mahomes, even from the NFL, was like, wait, what? Just pure shock.
Oh, yeah. But Dallas.
Oh, Dallas was pandemonium. Fan protests outside the arena, people threatening to cancel season tickets, radio lines jammed, demanding Nico Harrison, the GM, be fired.
You really feel that connection, the sense of betrayal from the fans. They put all their hope in Luka.
And Harrison's defense was, defense wins championships. We need an anchor like AD.
A standard line?
Yeah.
That may be necessary in that storm.
But then more reports surfaced. Luka's nagging injuries, maybe some tension over Pat's roster moves. Mark Stein reported that.
There was that story about him vetoing a Gobert trade earlier, right? Costing Josh Green and picks.
Yeah, that came out too. So you get this picture of a relationship that was fraying, maybe fundamentally broken.
Then Luka's agent, Bill Duffy, comes out with a totally different spin.
Right. Tells Wojnarowski at ESPN it was about financial considerations and fear of the future. From the Mavs side, says Luka was committed, but management wasn't investing enough.
So competing narratives, classic post-trade maneuvering, each side trying to justify their position.
Happens every time, doesn't it? The market impact, though, undeniable.
Oh, absolutely. Lakers season tickets on the secondary market.
Jumped like 78%. Luka's Lakers jersey sold out in 35 minutes.
Baby.
Their championship odds went way up. Dallas's dropped. NBA League Pass subs spiked 43%, according to The Athletic.
TV networks started shuffling schedules to get more Lakers games on. Even Adam Silver put out a rare statement about bold moves.
It shows Luka's star power. Huge excitement in LA, huge interest league-wide.
So the big question now is long-term. What does this mean down the road?
For the Lakers, maybe a dynasty window opens up again, Luka and LeBron.
Wow.
But for Dallas, it's a massive gamble on AD staying healthy.
Huge gamble.
Charles Barkley did not hold back. Called it basketball malpractice.
Ouch. Yeah, analysts are totally split. Was it a genius defensive move for Dallas or a disaster?
Zach Lowe said it's either the gutsiest move or career suicide for Nico Harrison. There's literally no middle ground.
That sums it up pretty well.
And it just raises these huge questions, doesn't it? About superstar power, team building, especially for smaller markets. Is any player truly untouchable anymore?
It definitely challenges that idea. Shows the evolving dynamic between stars and teams.
Mm.
This one, yeah, we'll be talking about this trade for years.
Absolutely. Okay, let's rewind the clock. Shift gears back to December 2011. Another Lakers-involved controversy, but this one didn't actually happen.
Ah, the Chris Paul veto.
The CP3 veto, a really fascinating case study in commissioner power and how outside forces can just blow up a done deal.
Yeah, it's wild how a trade everyone thought was finished just evaporated. Raises big questions about fairness, the commissioner's role,
Totally. So the NBA lockout had just ended, December 8th, 2011. A three-team trade is announced.
And the headliner was big.
Chris Paul, maybe the best point guard in the league, going to the Lakers to team up with Kobe Bryant.
Just pause and think about that backcourt for a second. Cody scoring, CP3 running the show.
Legendary potential.
Oh, duo for the ages, right.
Absolutely.
So, Lakers get CP3, Rockets get Pau Gasol, and the Hornets, who were owned by the league at the time.
That's the crucial part.
They get Lamar Odom, Kevin Martin, Luis Scola, Goran Dragic, and a 2012 first-round pick from the Knicks.
A pretty decent haul for New Orleans, actually.
And people were already whispering about Dwight Howard maybe joining L.A. later, too. Lakers fans were practically hanging banners already.
The hype was real, but then...
Then the unprecedented move. Commissioner David Stern, acting basically as the Hornets owner, vetoes the trade.
Just vetoes it, citing basketball reasons.
Which sent shockwaves, right. Lakers fans were furious. How could Stern do that? Especially since reports said the league office was involved in the talks. Yeah, that basketball reasons explanation felt thin. Very thin. Why would the league office let it get that far if it wasn't a good deal for the team they owned?
It just didn't add up for a lot of people. It seemed like something else had to be going on.
Exactly. Created this perception that maybe other factors were at play, not just what was best for the Hornets on the court.
And that's when the theories kicked into high gear. The main one. Small market owners freaked out.
Right. Guys like Dan Gilbert in Cleveland, worried about a Lakers juggernaut just dominating everyone.
Gilbert's leaked email to Stern really poured gasoline on that fire, called the trade a travesty, warned about a nuclear winter.
He specifically pointed out the Lakers weren't giving up picks and could still get Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
He laid out the fear pretty clearly.
Yeah, it articulated that small market anxiety perfectly. Competitive balance concerns.
Even Daryl Morey, Houston's GM, said they were shocked. Had a deal, everyone agreed, then poof, gone.
That really highlights how unusual it was, a commissioner stepping in like that on a major trade. Very rare.
Extremely rare. And you just can't ignore the conflict of interest, can you?
Not at all. The NBA owns the Hornets. Stern is commissioner of the whole league, and basically the owner making the call for one team in the trade.
They bought the team just the year before, hoping to find a local buyer. It put Stern in a really tough spot.
Balancing the league's interests versus the Hornets' interests. Tricky.
Very tricky. The aftermath. Brutal for Laker fans.
Oh, yeah. 6 days later, CP3 gets traded to the Clippers.
Right down the hall. Forming Lob City with Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan.
Suddenly, the Clippers are the exciting team in LA. They send Eric Gordon, Chris Common, Al-Farouq Aminu, and Minnesota's unprotected 2012 first-rounder to New Orleans.
That unprotected pick was key. Meant the Hornets got whatever the Wolves' pick was, no matter how good or bad. Turned out to be Austin Rivers.
So instead of Kobe and CP3, you get Lob City rising, and the Lakers kind of slide. Kobe's later years were tough with injuries, no more finals appearances.
Yeah, the Lakers tried the Dwight Howard-Steve Nash thing later.
Didn't work. Injuries, chemistry, just fizzled.
And interestingly, years later, Stu Jackson, a former NBA exec, suggested Stern vetoed the deal partly to make the Hornets more attractive to potential buyers.
Which adds another wrinkle, right? Maybe it wasn't just basketball reasons or competitive balance. Maybe it was business, too.
Makes you wonder. Kobe himself, later on, rarely commented. But in 2015, he said he was ready. Paul was ready. It would have been special.
And Paul said in 2020 they actually talked right after the trade was announced. Both were hyped to play together. Imagine the disappointment.
Oof. Yeah, it shows the human side. These aren't just chess pieces.
The what-ifs from this are just endless. Multiple titles for Kobe and CP3.
Would LeBron still have gone to Miami? Or maybe eventually joined a dominant Lakers team?
Would the Clippers still be the Clippers or forever in the Lakers' shadow? Did it totally shift the balance of power out west?
For years, arguably. It's definitely one of the biggest what could been moments in NBA history. Lakers fans still talk about it. Vetoed.
Absolutely. Okay, let's move forward a couple of years. 2013. Another trade that did happen, but is now seen as, well, a disaster for one side.
The Nets-Celtics trade. The poster child for maybe short-sighted ambition.
That's putting it mildly, often called the cautionary tale about mortgaging your future.
Yeah, sacrificing everything for a win-now dream that just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
With massive consequences.
Exactly. So, summer of 2013, the Celtics decide it's time. Their aging Big Three era is over.
KG, Pierce, getting older.
They trade Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, even DJ White to the Brooklyn Nets.
And the Nets send back, well, players. But more importantly,
the picks. Gerald Wallace, Chris Humphries, Marshawn Brooks, Keith Bogans. Filler, mostly. But crucially, unprotected first-round picks in 2014, 2016, 2018, plus a 2017 pick swap.
Unprotected. That's the killer word there.
The Nets' goal was obvious. Go big. Create an instant contender to take down LeBron's Heat.
And the pressure on the Nets was immense, right?
Huge. Just moved from Jersey to Brooklyn. Shiny new $1 billion Barclays Center.
Needed to make a splash in the New York market.
And their owner, Mikhail Prokhorov, had publicly vowed championship within 5 years.
No pressure, Billy King.
Right. They already had big contracts out for Deron Williams, Joe Johnson, Brook Lopez, but they'd fizzled in the playoffs.
So after another first-round exit in 2013, the heat was on GM Billy King.
Prokhorov even boasted the basketball gods smiled on the Nets, getting KG and Pierce.
Reports were King thought they had maybe a 3-year window, and he was willing to pay, future-wise.
Big time. But that super team, it just never clicked, did it?
Not really. It sputtered.
Yeah.
Garnett was 37, Pierce 35. Clearly past their primes.
They had one okay year, made the second round in 2014, but then steep decline.
Both KG and Pierce were gone by the 2015-16 season anyway. Flew by fast.
And while the Nets were fading on the court.
Boston was just sitting back collecting lottery tickets.
Because those picks were unprotected. No matter how bad the Nets were, Boston got their spot.
And the Nets got bad.
Oh, cratered. 2015-16 season, 21 wins, 61 losses, brutal. And their lottery pick, straight to Boston.
And the Celtics, they hit the jackpot with those picks.
Absolutely cashed in. 2014 pick, James Young, didn't pan out. But then,
2016, pick number 3 overall, Jaylen Brown.
key piece of their 2024 title team. Then the 2017 pick swap.
That was amazing. Boston swapped, got the #1 pick, traded down to #3.
And drafted Jason Tatum, another cornerstone. Plus, got another future pick in the process.
And the 2018 pick, number 8. Used that in the package to get Kyrie Irving later.
Just an incredible haul for Boston, turning aging vets into 2 franchise stars and other key assets.
Bobby Marks, who was actually with the Nets back then, said later, yeah, they knew they were giving up a lot, but nobody thought those picks would be that good.
They projected themselves as like a middle-of-the-pack team, right? Picks in the teens or 20s.
Not top 5 picks. Nobody saw that coming.
This trade just became infamous. The heist of the century, people call it.
Nets gave away their future. Fans called it the worst trade ever. Hard to argue sometimes.
Billy King became a punchline, honestly. Fired in 2016, never got another NBA GM job.
Meanwhile, Danny Ainge looked like a genius. The fleece artist.
Even Doc Rivers, who coached those Celtics, admitted later they knew they got value, but even they were surprised how good the picks became. Called it maybe the most lopsided trade for future value in modern history.
It really changed things, didn't it? How teams thought about rebuilds, assets.
Totally. Suddenly, everyone was terrified of trading unprotected future firsts, put a huge premium on draft picks, maybe even made tanking seem more legitimate.
Yeah, Sean Marks inherited a disaster when he took over as Nets GM in 2016. A barren cupboard. Took years to recover.
It's just such a stark lesson. The value of picks, the risk of betting big on aging stars.
And the irony, of course, is the Nets later built another super team with Durant, Irving, Harden.
And that one imploded too. Just can't catch a break sometimes.
Wow. Okay, one more to go. Let's head back to 2008. Another Lakers deal. Pau Gasol.
The Pau Gasol trade. This one felt instantly lopsided the other way. Huge win for LA right off the bat.
Yeah, unlike the Nets deal, the immediate impact here was massive for the Lakers.
Yep.
But there's a fascinating long-term twist too, isn't there?
There really is. So February 1st, 2008, the Memphis Grizzlies trade their all-star forward, Pau Gasol.
Big name. Skilled big man.
To the Lakers. In return, Kwame Brown,
Okay.
Javaris Crittenton, Aaron McKee, 2 first-round picks, 2008 and 2010, and the draft rights to Pau's younger brother, Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol. Remember that name. Greg Popovich famously reacted immediately, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Called it beyond comprehension. Basically said it was highway robbery for the Lakers.
Now, on the surface, it looked like it.
Yeah.
Lakers get an all-star partner for Kobe.
Yeah.
Grizzlies get, well, Kwame Brown and some bits and pieces.
From the Lakers side, the timing was critical. Kobe had demanded a trade the summer before. Team wasn't contending.
Pressure was on.
Then Andrew Bynum gets hurt. Knee injury. Suddenly, they really need front court help.
And Kobe knew Pau, liked his game from international play, advocated for him.
So GM Mitch Kupchak, who'd been looking for a big man for months, pulls the trigger.
What was Memphis thinking, though? Why give up Pau for that return?
Money, mostly. Reports were the Grizzlies were losing a lot of money under owner Michael Heisley. Attendance was low.
Financial struggles.
Yeah.
Happens.
They needed to cut costs, reset the franchise. Kwame Brown's expiring $9 million contract, that gave them cap space. Big time. Cap flexibility was key.
Meaning room under the salary cap to sign guys later. Makes sense.
And here's the interesting part. Even though Marc Gasol was just a second-round pick, apparently the Grizzlies really believed in his potential down the line.
Which is incredible foresight if true.
So Pau goes to L.A., and it's instant magic.
Seamless fit, right? With Kobe in the triangle offense.
Immediately elevates them. 3 straight finals appearances, won back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010.
Pau was fantastic. Averaged almost 19 points, nearly 10 rebounds that first full season. Shot like 57%.
Phil Jackson called him the missing piece. Kobe, in his book, said getting Pau was like finding the last piece of a puzzle. Said they even spoke Spanish on the court.
A perfect fit, delivered championships, case closed, Lakers win the trade.
Well, not so fast. Because back in Memphis,
Marc Gasol.
Marc Gasol starts to blossom, arrives in the NBA the next season, 2008-09. Different player than Pau, more physical but similar passing vision.
And he became really, really good.
All rookie second team, gets a big extension. Then 2013 Defensive Player of the Year.
3-time All-Star, couple of All-NBA teams, even won a title later with Toronto.
He became the absolute cornerstone of that Memphis grit and grind era, led them to 7 straight playoff appearances, got to the Western Conference Finals in 2013.
That's an incredible career from a guy who was essentially a throw-in in the trade.
Exactly. So Chris Wallace, the Grizzlies GM back then, later kind of claimed vindication, said everyone killed them at the time, but look what Mark became.
His argument was they basically traded Pau for a future all-star, cap room, and picks that helped build that playoff core.
It's a fair point looking back. So this trade, it caused that immediate uproar. Popovich's comments, Mark Cuban saying it was just like swapping jerseys.
Accusations of the league favoring the big markets again. Stern had to publicly defend it.
But the legacy is this tale of 2 timelines, isn't it? Immediate Lakers dynasty restored.
And the slow burn, unexpected rise of Marc Gasol and the Grizzlies.
It's maybe the best reminder that you can't always judge a trade on day one. Sometimes it takes years. And maybe, just maybe, it can be a win-win, even if it doesn't look like it initially.
Definitely became shorthand for needing that long-term perspective on deals. These 4 trades. Wow, each one just sent massive ripples, didn't they?
They truly did. You see the ambition, right? Trying to build super teams. You see the risks, trading franchise guys like Luka, and just how unpredictable it all is.
The consequences, immediate and long-lasting, they just reshape franchises, careers, the whole league.
And it really highlights that constant tightrope walk for front offices, doesn't it? Win now versus build for the future.
That balancing act is everything. Short-term glory versus long-term stability.
So, think about these examples we just went through. The Luka shocker, the CP3 veto, the Nets disaster, the Pau trade with the twist.
Yeah.
What factors do you think are the most crucial for an NBA trade to actually be called successful?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Is it just about the immediate wins and losses? Is it the long-term value you get back? Is it something else? Consider it from both sides, the teams and the players.
Yeah, what success even means can be totally different depending on who you ask and what their goals were going in. No easy answer.
Definitely something to chew on. We hope you keep thinking about these trades, maybe share your own takes on ones you find fascinating.
Yeah, absolutely.
And please join us next time for another deep dive into the always captivating world of the NBA. We'll keep going beyond the surface.